Some breaking updates. Top court to hear petition challenging government's order to pull down the BBC documentary from Twitter and YouTube. Apex court to hear plea on February 6th. So that's the breaking update that we are getting. In fact, a PIL had been filed in the Supreme Court against the centre's decision to ban the BBC documentary on the 2002 Gujarat riots in the country. In fact, the petition had alleged it was malafide, arbitrary and unconstitutional. Now, Apex Court to hear this plea on February 6th. So, in fact, this petition filed by Advocate M.L. Sharma urged the Apex Court to call and examine the documentary and sought action against people who were responsible and were involved directly and indirectly with the 2002 Gujarat riots. In fact, the petitioner had also raised a constitutional question, and the top court has to decide whether citizens have the right under Article 19 to see news, facts and reports on the 2002 Gujarat riots. So now, of course, Apex Court agreeing to hear this plea, and the plea will be heard on February 6th. Top court to hear petition challenging government's order to pull down the BBC documentary from Twitter and YouTube. Remember, several opposition parties had in fact condemned this move by the centre, which had pulled down this controversial documentary from Twitter, YouTube and several other platforms. Now, of course, there has been a PIL filed against the centre's decision to ban this documentary. In fact, this plea alleges that this decision by the centre is malafide, arbitrary and unconstitutional. Now, of course, the Apex Court all set to hear this plea on February 6th. In fact, the petitioner had sought directions to quash this order dated Jan 21, 2023 of the Ministry of the Information and Broadcasting, terming it as illegal, malafide, arbitrary and unconstitutional. The plea also said whether the central government can curtail freedom of press, which is a fundamental right as guaranteed under Article 19(1)(2) of the Constitution. So therefore, this plea, in fact, has challenged the centre's decision to ban the BBC documentary. In fact, we saw how the documentary was aired in several campuses as well. It had led to a lot of uproar, outrage. Now, of course, the plea that has been filed against centre decision to ban this documentary, and the plea will be heard on February 6th. All right, we have Majid Memon joining us on the story. Mr. Memon, a plea has been filed before the Apex Court challenging the centre's decision to ban this documentary. We saw the kind of outrage. We saw several opposition parties, including yours, had condemned this ban. Now, of course, the Apex Court has agreed to hear this plea. Mr. Memon, if you can hear me, a plea has been filed before the Supreme Court against centre's decision to ban this documentary. We saw the kind of outrage, we saw the kind of uproar. Several opposition parties like yours had completely condemned this ban. Now the Apex Court has agreed to hear this plea.
See, in this context, let me remind you that when the ban was imposed, soon after there was a lot of noise about this BBC documentary 1. Of course, it was followed by documentary 2 as well. We had commented that the government must not feel shy to face something that is mentioned in the documentary. They could very well deny it if it is factually untrue. If it is false, they should meet word to word and challenge the falsity of it if it is untrue. And also, they could have even taken action, legal action against BBC, whatever possible. But instead, the government takes a shortcut by simply banning it, thereby strangulating the rights of people of this country to know the truth about their own happenings. This is something which we cannot forget. Well, rightly or wrongly, what has happened, the government has to face it. This act of banning it certainly has been questioned before the highest court of the land. But I think we shall have to wait the Honorable Supreme Court having today acknowledged that, well, we are interested in hearing this matter does have substance, and therefore it has been promptly listed next Monday for further hearing. I think we need to wait till how Supreme Court looks at it and makes its observation. Right to know is, of course, one of the basic rights of the people of this country with regard to the events that have taken place. There have been a number of killings in 2002, and people are entitled to know anything relating to that incident.
Thank you for joining us with your inputs. You're saying that the central government should in fact face the facts, let the the documentary be screened, and if they have any sort of opposition, then they can take the legal recourse, but they can't be covered.
Bhushan challenging the direction from the Information Broadcasting Ministry to take down the tweets, and also the link, in fact, they had tweeted in connection with the BBC documentary. In fact, remember, they had tweeted certain links of this controversial documentary, and INP Ministry had asked them to take down these tweets and also the links of the documentary. So the news coming in is that Advocate Kapil Sibal and Prashant Bhushan has also mentioned this matter, saying that they have also filed fresh petitions in the Supreme Court, and that their petitions will also be heard on February 6th. That is the news coming. Now I am joined by petitioner in this case, Advocate Manohar Lal Sharma. Sharma ji, आपके petition में prayer क्या है exactly?
देखिए, सबसे पहले हमने petition फाइल की है. BBC documentary, all the citizens of India have right to know the naked truth. एक कठोर सच जो है BBC ने रिकॉर्ड किया है 2002 में. यूके गवर्नमेंट की इन्वेस्टिगेशन एजेंसी ने सारे रिकॉर्ड किए हैं. लोगों के जो सफर हुए लोग विक्टिम हैं.
But importantly, you have also sought action against Prime Minister Modi, who was then the Chief Minister. But the Supreme Court has already given a clean sheet to the Prime Minister on a petition filed by Teesta Sitalwad and Zakia Jafri.
No. Court will have said only what have been put up before the court. Court cannot extend their hands out of the document produced before him. In fact, 2002 Rio true fact has not been brought before the court at all till today. And this is a BBC documentary who disclosed the naked truth before the public that what happened. The people were raped, ladies were raped, people were killed, burned house, and not only this, most important in this one, the military has been stopped to enter into the Ahmedabad for 24 hours continuously, despite the military was persisting that allow us to do. If it has been done, there would be no mass killing.
So this was Advocate M.L. Sharma saying that his focus is not on reopening the probe, but challenging the ban imposed on the BBC documentary, saying that it is an affront on the right to freedom of speech and expression.
All right, we have more breaking updates. In fact, a separate petition has been filed by journalist N. Ram and Advocate Prashant Bhushan on taking down their tweets with links of the BBC documentary. Supreme Court will hear this petition as well next Monday. So that's the big breaking update. N. Ram and Advocate Prashant Bhushan have also filed separate pleas. This is in connection to their tweets being taken down, which had links of the BBC documentary. Now, the Apex Court has decided to hear this petition as well, along with the other one next Monday. So, the BBC documentary row has reached the Supreme Court. Multiple pleas have been filed in connection to the BBC documentary. One against Centre's decision to ban this documentary in social media platforms, and the other two were filed by journalist N. Ram as well as Advocate Prashant Bhushan on taking down their tweets which had links of the BBC documentary.